We live in Brooklyn, baby. We live in Brooklyn, baby.
Welcome, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back to Insanity Check. I am Ken. This
I'm
is
Skillet Sauce.
And we are here yet again to outrage, horrify, and make you laugh. We're going to start with outrage. That would be us. We're outraged.
Oh yeah, this is so tiring.
So this was a little bit of time ago, but it's like last week. Word came out about Adrian Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
If you recall, he was put on some administrative restrictive list by the NFL. The whore master himself, Roger Goodell, because Adrian Peterson corporal punished his child with a switch, I believe. Leaving.
It was a switch, and for those people that don't know what a switch is, it's like a thin reed, and you take the leaves off, and it's like a little flexible little branch. It's a flexible little branch.
Left welts and I believe cut his skin open in a couple of places.
Yeah.
Photographs were seen, and voila, Adrian Peterson is now a monster.
Yeah.
And
of
now
course, the poster boy for more of this hypocritical American soapboxing.
Right. And whether you believe that corporal punishment is right or not, what you should know, as Adrian Peterson's lawyer told the ESPN morning show Mike and Mike a couple of weeks ago, was that the courts decided after hearing the case and seeing the horrible photographs to not even indict Adrian Peterson. Unfortunately for Adrian Peterson,
Ray Rice was knocking out his chick in an elevator.
The very next week.
Yep.
And after that video came out, you know what? We have to rethink this. And click, click, you're indicted.
So not only was he indicted, but he was thrown under the bus.
Yeah.
Societally thrown under the bus, because when you look at the photographs, you don't put anything into context. You see a child, and you know what? A lot of people were under the impression that the injuries to the child is what precipitated the hospital visit. No, the kid was going for a regular visit that had nothing to do with the whelps, and the doctor saw it and was like, oh, what's up with this? And as a responsible person, like, hey, what's going on with these marks? So it wasn't like the kid was beaten into a state to where he immediately had to be rushed to the hospital. The thing that really gets me is, with all of these cases, the absolute definitive, just soapboxing to where people feel that, when I say soapbox, I mean you're standing on your soapbox preaching as if everyone in America is supposed to adhere to some kind of like one strike rule. Whereas if you do anything, you're immediately told that you can never work again, you must be killed, you must give away your entire salary forever, and all this other kind of shit. And I ask ask of these individuals if they can look within themselves and if they've ever made a mistake. And I thought about a hypothetical situation, because they're also saying because of the footage, the pictures of the child, that's what hit home, and they can't stand it. If you were a believer of corporal punishment to the degree of like you spank the baby's bottom, because a lot of white people that are not from the South apparently don't understand what a switch is, but most black people, I don't know, did they do that in the West Indies? Did they?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because I know Southern black, my great aunt fan would be like, go get the switch, boy. Mm-hmm. Reluctantly go into the backyard or whatever, you get a little branch like this, she pulls the leaves off, and on your legs, they hold your hands up, they give you some strikes. And there's a lot of times there was some whelps, they wasn't trying to intentionally destroy me, but they wanted to send a message. So I ask this: if you were to spank your baby's bottom, a 2-year-old, 4-year-old, in the case of the Adrian Peterson child, but you had, let's say, Vaseline on your hands, and you held the child's arms up and you gave it just one, whoosh, but somehow that strike, which wasn't excessively hard, but the kid slipped out of your hand and just pitched forward and bust his lip. They take photographs and you see a child of 4 with a cracked lip. Would you be a child abuser? Or were you punishing your child, and an unfortunate mistake took place to where, obviously, since it's a smaller body, the pitch forward, the circus, however it pulled it, and they hit their face. People are labeling this man as the Antichrist of fathers. He is just the fucking worst person in the world, whereas almost everyone I know growing up has received beatings. I remember my friend Martin in public school, which of course would have, you know, his father would have got the firing squad, but he was showing out in school, cussing out the teacher. His father came to school, and he's from Trinidad. His father came to school, pulled his pants down, he still had his underwear on, and whipped his ass in front of the entire class and the teacher. And the teacher was like, oh, no, no, no. And he was like, you get out of my way. This kid is getting all 5 lashes of this fucking belt right now. He needs to know in front of everybody that I'm not putting you in school for you to be doing this kind of fuckery. And of course, his father would be, you know, hung today. His father would have to, you know, answer all sorts of questions, show all kind of attrition and atonement, all. So when you assault this man's character and try to stop this man, meaning Peterson, and take away money from him, who do you think his money is going to? And I said it when they first spoke of this. These people who want to be so protective of the child, this man is paying for his kids. It's not like he's a deadbeat dad. And they're like, oh, well, he has kids from this person. I don't give a fuck how many people he has kids from. I don't care how many kids he has. If this man is providing for those kids, and those kids are not needing or wanting for anything, then he's doing his job. And if you take his ability to earn his money away, and they're talking about, well, he can take the money and donate it to some children's fund. What about his children's fund? Because they're the one that directly needs his money. And the man has said, okay, fine, you know, I didn't want to leave the marks, but yeah, I intended to whip him like I was whipped. Okay, we can go back and forth with this fake ass society that doesn't believe anyone should do anything because we're all so perfect in America, which is a fucking laugh. But at the end of the day, you're going to take this man's ability to earn money, which goes directly to his family and his children. And no one seems to give a shit about that. No one.
Well, that last part you just mentioned is pretty much the foundation of why they decided to suspend Adrian Peterson for the rest of the season, is because he didn't show enough remorse. Because you see, in this country, when society says you've done something bad, you have to pretty much beg, scrape, show attrition, remorse, be sad, be humble, be all of these fucking things so that people who don't fucking know you or don't know your situation or barely knows what the fuck happened can now judge you and say,
he's sincere.
Yeah, we think we'll allow it. You seem believable, which of course is really
and it's totally subjective. Also, because you don't know this man from Adam.
But it's not just that. What's even more hilarious about it is that if you're a good liar, I look believable. Don't mean a word of it.
Exactly.
So what the fuck does it matter?
And on top of that, because he said, listen, I've done what I'm supposed to do. You, in August, came up with some new rules when it comes to these type of offenses, which has, for women, you're beating your woman, your child, and all this kind of stuff. So Goodell put this in play, and he said it's a 6-game suspension, and if you do it again, it's a lifetime ban or something like that. But then he said there's other circumstances that, in this situation, since it was a big, strong superpower man and a little 4-year-old, that was his justifications on top of the fact that Adrian Peterson didn't go to this hearing on Friday. On Friday, what would that be? November 14th? Mm-hmm. That was the reasons why it wasn't just a 6-game suspension for him. It was a longer suspension.
But also because he didn't show remorse.
Exactly, and because but it's tied in directly to it. He didn't show remorse by going to meet all of the newly imposed newly imposed tasks that he was supposed to do that was not part of the collective bargaining agreement. And see, the thing is, the collective bargaining agreement, it doesn't matter what you decide, like Goodell's like, oh my God, everybody's attacking me, so I have to go overboard when it comes to punishment and all this other kind of stuff. That's fine for you, buddy, but you still have to pass it through the collective bargaining agreement. If it's not agreed upon, you cannot take it upon yourself to go, oh man, this is so egregious that now I'm going to change the rules. You can't do that. And the problem is, Adrian Peterson put out a statement saying, listen, you told me to go there on Friday. Now, apparently, the way the CBA is structured, I'm supposed to do a certain amount of these things and so on and so forth. And anything additional, both parties have to agree. You can't then tell me, no, I want you to do extra because I want you to be contrite and I want you to be, oh, you have to do extra. And when he says no, the CBI says, I don't have to do that. You're not showing remorse. You're suspended indefinitely. No, buddy. No, the CBA is to protect us, protect you. It's supposed to protect all of us. You can't change rules on the fly without us both parties sitting down and agreeing to something. And Goodell, I understand it's a business. He represents shareholders. They're being attacked. Recently, the FBI raided these guys and is trying to find out, for visiting teams, what type of drugs and shit they bringing in there, because, it's long been known that, these guys get injured or whatever, they dope them up to get them back out there on the field. As long as now it's the head days, but back then they didn't even fuck what happened to you. If they can shoot you up with some shit and get you back out there to the game, because a lot of people's watching this, big money to be had is if you win or whatever. So they've been doing sting operations. They did some major things where they just, burst in and I forgot how many teams they just crashed in and did one of those old time movie raid kind of situations. And so I understand that Goodell is trying to protect the brand, but you still can't violate the rules. And if the punishment was one thing, it's like double jeopardy. It's like, oh, we charge you once. Oh, shit, we saw the Ray Rice video. We're going to charge you again. Oh, wait a minute. You didn't do this additional thing that wasn't agreed upon. Oh, we're going to charge you for that, too. You can't do that, man. You can't do that. But beyond all of that, the thing that sickens me the most is society acting like no child has ever been hit in the history of the United States, and anyone that did hit a child for any reason in the United States is the worst demon that hell has ever produced, and they do not deserve a second chance. They don't deserve the right to be in society. They are supposed to be locked away and stoned until dead or bankrupted or something that completely just defies logic. I don't understand.
I go even further than that.
We're trying to make